Frida Cassidy, welcome. I got your seeds in the mail. I got 11 watching, and Frida Cassidy is in the live chat. I was trying to go live a little earlier than the last time. Oh, I need to put my hair back up. It's hot. It's 104 degrees right now, y'all. 104 degrees. How's everybody doing on this hot day? There's Candy Cane and Joshua. Hello. Frida, Candy Cane, and Joshua. How's it going? And Angel's in the house. And Bernadine, Liz Daughter is in the house. What time is it here? It's 6:35 p.m. Hello, Bernadine. What part of the world are you from? I just got through with dinner. I got my video done for tomorrow. It was a good dinner, and I didn't cook, y'all. I was lazy because I was working in the yard this morning, and I got hot, tired, come in the house, rested, drank me some coffee, and ate a little breakfast, which was an egg salad sandwich. Hot and dry where you're at, Bernadine? Oh, no, Frida, you're sick. What's the problem? Bayer Blondie? From Europe, Holland. Oh my goodness. And wow, it's raining where you're at. Well, send some rain to us. We need it. And Frida, you get better. I hate to hear you're sick. But it's 104 degrees here right now at 6:30 p.m. Does that tell you anything about what the day's been like? I was up at daylight this morning out in the yard working on shade cloth, working on poles, watering with the compost tea. Oh no, a good from the doctor, can't keep nothing down. Huh. Maybe you got food poisoning of some kind. A lot of times you throw up a lot with that. Are you running a fever? And there's Amity Lark from Ohio. Welcome. Liz Daughtery. Yeah, when the sun goes down, it'll start cooling off, but it'll be 85, 90 degrees even tonight. And it's going to be this way for the next week or so. And then the temperature will drop at least to 99 for the next few days after that. But I guarantee it'll be right back up to triple digits after then with no rain in sight. You used a water pick. How was it, Joshua? Did you like it? And there's Chill. Hey, Chill. I hope you're staying cool in your neck of the woods. And there's Lisa and Ditto. Hi, it says, I'm so over the heat. Stay cool. Fall won't be here. Now, I know I'm right there with you. I'm ready for the temperatures to cool off a little. And my garden is too. I think I've just about lost one of my strawberry beds. I've been trying to keep it watered at least twice a week, once with the city water, once with the compost tea, which I got that done this morning. I usually try to water with compost tea either Wednesday night or Thursday. Your dad was helping you with it? Oh, 22 degrees there. Celsius probably, which is about 72. Oh, 72 degrees would feel so good right now. It's a strange land, really. Yeah. America is a strange land. It's hot. This has been an exceptionally hot summer. It did feel good. Yeah, I can imagine, chill. 72 degrees. Oh my God. I would feel like heaven right now. And nothing but rain in Ohio. Well, we need rain desperately. It's been so hot, so dry. Everything is burning up. I don't think my cucumber vines are going to survive this heat. And they were looking so pretty to begin with. I was expecting a big harvest of cucumbers and haven't gotten a one because the heat is just destroying my garden, y'all. Now, some of my pepper plants like it, but some of them haven't survived transplanting because of the heat. But I've got more I need to transplant. Chill said it's 102 and humid. Yeah, it's really dry here. Is it 100? It's 104. It's 104 degrees right now at 6:30 in the evening. It's dry and it's hot. It's been hot all day. Yeah, the dry heat is better on you than the humid heat. When it's real humid and it's really hot, it's almost suffocating. But my AC has started running about 1 o'clock. It's run constant ever since. It has not cut off, not one bit. Your oldest son lives in Lake Dallas? Really? Dallas is about an hour and a half drive from me. I can go to Fort Worth in an hour. But Dallas is a little further depending on what part of Dallas I go to. I never drive up there because I hate getting in that traffic. The traffic in Fort Worth and Dallas now is unbelievable. So I try to stay in Granbury as much as possible. Bernadine said she'd retired from Parkland Hospital. Well, good for you. You must have been a nurse. Or were you a doctor or something? No, I haven't, Joshua. I've never used a water pick or any type of electric toothbrush. Well, I live here on Lake Granbury. She was a nurse. Okay. Good for you. How long have you been retired now? Okay, Frida, you're not feeling good, so you need the rest. So you have a blessed night. Maybe you'll feel better tomorrow. Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, and get better. I think you'll feel a lot better tomorrow. You've been retired for 10 years. Wow. It's a pretty good while. Like me, I've been completely retired for a long time. But now I work with YouTube. So that's a like 24-hour day for me is YouTube. It's a never-ending story. Hello, Stevie Rock. Hello, and Tamara Ameling. Mine's going hot, Stevie. 104 right now. In the evening, it's still 104. And it's going to be that way for the next probably 10 days or more. And it's finally going to cool off down to 99 for a few days. But I guarantee it'll be right up to triple digits after that. But we've not had any rain, and there's no rain in the forecast at all. I mean, if it would just rain a day or so, cool things off a little bit. No, I mean, I saw some things about prison cell for long stay. I have tears in my eyes because there's nothing to say that he had done that, and now it come. He was get in the gas. What? I kind of lost that conversation. You know somebody that's headed to the gas chamber? Bryrig Blondie? Yeah, pray we get some rain. Did you work in prison, Bryrig Blondie? Bryrig Blondie? Bryrig Blondie? I don't know how to pronounce that. There you go, Stevie. A safe rain, not a raging storm. Oh my God, I was looking. Yeah, you know to death. What? I don't understand your comments, Blondie. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe she's not being able to put her sentences together properly. I don't know. But she's not doing anything bad. I just don't understand. Oh, you're talking about documentaries about prison and maybe people going to the gas chamber. I know I've watched some movies about people on death row, and that would be that'd be bad because some of those people are on death row for 10 years or more, waiting for the day they die. I mean, that's got to be terrible. Maybe I try to learn Dutch. I don't have a clue about knowing anything about Dutch language. I knew it was something like that. Some of your sentences weren't quite together. And I said, you either speak another language and you're not that keen on the English language. And I was right. I'd love to be able to speak other languages, but unfortunately, I really don't. I knew a few words in German. I know a few things in Spanish, and that's about it. Not much of that. Yeah, but it was so hot, even out there this morning at 8 and 9 o'clock. It felt good when I first got out there, but after 8 o'clock, it started getting hot. And I mean, I kept wiping my face because the sweat was coming in my eyes. I didn't wear my headband. Well, it's fairly cool in my house, Amity Lark. Yeah, my AC is running like crazy to keep the house cool. So it's comfortable in here. It's not hot. But I usually wear my hair up all the time, and when I put it down, it makes my neck hot. You keep yours at 77. That's about where mine is, 78, 77, 78, 79, somewhere through there. That's what I've heard, Tamara, that using a water pick was more effective than you just brushing your teeth. And there's Tamara Douglas. We got both Tamaras in the house, so we're complete. Always got to have both Tamaras. How's the temperature where you're at, Tamara Douglas? But okay, indeed, they have long lived there, and the system is death row is sick. Yeah. But they put them on death row. They give them much time to appeal the verdict. Some get an appeal, some don't. But I don't understand, if they're found guilty, they're sentenced to death, why they keep them on death row so long. That's got to be agonizing to be there for 10 years, knowing any day you could go to the gas chamber. You just don't know when. Oh, Joshua, your dad ordered your brother the same toothbrush you've got. Well, it must be a good one. It's 100 degrees where Tamara Douglas is. Well, it's still it dropped to 103. It's starting to cool down a little bit because the sun's starting to go down. But you know, even 85 degrees is not cool. And I think it's supposed to be like 80-some degrees tonight. I mean, that's a lot better than 103 or 104, but still, it's hot. Tamara Douglas said she's in Northern California. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty hot in California. I do my watering, with my compost tea and all that at night, but I don't have all my lights up yet. And unfortunately, these street lights that I put up, the two of them, they don't stay on constantly. They'll come on, movement walks under them, and then they stay on for so long, and then they turn off. And I thought you could set them to where they would stay on, but I guess they still go off if they detect no motion. I don't know. I need to check it out. Because I got another light that I need to put up, and I want to put it up in the garden somewhere, because I'd like to have it lit up to where I could go out there at night when the sun's gone down and be able to water or transplant stuff. Do what I need to do so I don't get sunburnt. That's one reason I like the shade cloth overhead, because I'm under the shade cloth with the plants, and it blocks the sun off of me just like it does the plants. Yeah, 85 dry heat is tolerable, but it's still not very comfortable when you're out there trying to do stuff. You'll still break out in a sweat. That's for sure. My clothes were soaking wet when I came in the house, just from perspiration. So naturally I had to, jump in the shower, shampoo my hair, put on some clean, dry clothes. And I haven't been back out since. I haven't even been to the mailbox, because I just don't want to get out in the heat. Little buddy went out, not little buddy, but Lucky went out a little while ago. He must have had to go to the bathroom, because he went to the door and started scratching to let me know he wanted to go out. Well, it's supposed to go on, it's supposed to have 3 options, like come on with motion, and I thought it had a stay on setting, to where if the light came on, it would stay on, or you could turn it on until daylight and it would go off. But so far, I haven't hit the right setting. I'll have to try it tonight, go out there and see if I can get on continuous burn. Because that would be great if I could put it on where the light would burn continuously, so I could water the garden while the light was on at night. Other than that, I've been thinking about putting up Christmas lights throughout the garden. That would be kind of pretty. But that would take a lot of lights out there. Really, Joshua? You can turn up the water speed or turn it down? Huh, sounds neat. Yeah, it's supposed to change it to three settings, I think. Where am I? Remote. I had the remotes over here. It's got mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. But it didn't have any paperwork with it. But I looked it up on the, I think it was Amazon or somewhere where they had these lights. And it said that I thought it had continuous burn, to where one of those settings would turn the light on and it would not turn off until the sun went down. I mean, until the sun came up. You know, it would burn continuously all night. I'll have to check it out again. But it does have 3 controllers. It's got the off on at the top, and it's got the three buttons in the center that sets the different modes, 1, 2, and 3. And I don't know, the bottom one, the red one, is SOS. So I guess you could set that, and that means you need help. I don't know. I've never had one of these lights before. But I would assume that's what it is, SOS. Like if you fell and you couldn't get up, you could push SOS and maybe somebody would see the light blinking. Maybe it sends out Morse code. I don't know. And there's Jerry Starcher. Hello, Jerry. How's it going in your neck of the woods? It's hot here. It was 104 today. And it did drop to 102 right now. It's been steadily dropping since I've been live. I don't know who invented the water flosser toothbrush. It didn't come with a manual. I looked it up on the internet and read some stuff on the lights. So I don't know if each light has the similar settings. I found the one that looked like mine, and I think it showed the remote and it looked like mine, so I was reading on it. And I thought it said one of those modes was a continuous light, where it would come on at dark and the light would burn until the morning. But I could be wrong. But it'd be nice if I could turn the light on back there and just leave it on while I was working around the garden. It wouldn't go off constantly. That's what I did. I searched the brand name and the picture of the light. It was cool where you're at, Jerry, until about 1 o'clock. It was nice for a while. What? Ho, ho, ho. Christmas is coming with all tea fake shoe like it is. We living in an illusion, creation from the bad side. I don't understand that. But yeah, Christmas is not far off. Fall is not far off. About 4 more months and it'll be Christmas time. Be another year. Let's just hope we have a decent winter. And our winter is not anything like our summer has been. I just got through with my cooking. Well, it wasn't cooking because I fixed my dinner and I didn't cook a thing. I didn't even turn on the oven. Well, the stove I turned on this morning. I turned on a pot of water and I made a pot of tea real quick because I still had coffee in the coffee maker. So I made a pot of tea and put the sugar and other water in my pitcher that I put my tea in. So I have iced tea to drink today. That's what I'm drinking right now. Iced tea in my thermos. Strange. All tea fake shoe. I don't know. What's everybody been doing today? Like I said, I got out there and worked in the garden for about 3 hours this morning until it got so hot I just had to come in. I couldn't handle it anymore. And I thought about coming in, resting and cooling off and going back out and doing some more. And then I decided, no, I don't want to go back out in that heat. But I need to get some more pepper plants transplanted and see if I can get them to grow. I got one or two that I transplanted, but they're under the shade cloth in the middle of the garden back here. And they started growing pretty decent. But some of them that I transplanted, the sun got too hot on the little transplant, and it just burnt that little pepper plant up. So I got to pick and choose where I put the next ones to make sure they don't burn up. They got to go in the shade partly, so they can get some sun, but they need mostly shade at this time of year. Okay, let me ask you a question. What kind of question? I'll try to answer. Joanne's fighting with a difficult crochet hat pattern. I usually make my patterns up because I can't read the books. I don't have a clue as to how to read a crocheting book because it calls all the little stitches by different names and I don't know them all. Had dialysis, then piddle farted around. Well, I hope you're doing well, Jerry. Yeah, I had gotten a crochet book one time, or either was it maybe I printed a pattern off of the internet of a certain pattern to crochet. I don't remember what it was, but I looked at that page and started reading it, and I said, oh my God, I don't know all these stitches, all these little things. And you can't, reading the instructions is a waste of time if you don't know all the little stitches. Now, I know what a double or triple crochet is. I know what a single crochet is, where you make the chain. Other than that, I'm lost. When it goes into all these other things, I don't know what they're telling me to do. So I just gave up. I got rid of the instructions. I said, I don't know what I'm reading, so there's no way I can do this. Now, I'm sure my mom, she could have got any pattern for crocheting, and she could have read the instructions and not had any problem, but me, no. You started December 19th and you're doing well. I'm glad to hear that, Jerry, that you're doing well with all of it. And there's Christina Humphrey. Hello, Linda. I'm sitting here eating some fried squash and zucchini. I got woke up with a bat flying over me and my fur babies at 2:30 this morning. Oh no. How did the bat get in your house? Yeah, I did a video on showing people how I did my crocheted bedspread on my queen size bed. How I put the squares together and the stitches I used to do the square. But I'm left-handed and I couldn't get the camera really at a good angle to show it all. And after that, everybody and his brother started doing crochet patterns on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere. There's a lady from New Zealand who live streams and she crochets in the live stream. I only watch her because I love New Zealand accent. Oh, really? Are you happy or have you thoughts about or want something other? I guess I'm pretty happy. I don't know that I want anything else. I mean, I'd love to have more money coming in so I could really spend money on this place and get it modernized a little. But other than that, I'm fine. There's a lady that I watch once in a while that crochets a lot of neat stuff. But I can't crocheting with someone. I don't remember the name of the channel. But she does some really good stuff. She does like shawls and all kind of stuff. She makes some patterns that I would love to do, but there's no way I could ever figure it out. And I can't watch her and do it either because she's right-handed, I'm left-handed. Just that's why my mom had such a hard time showing me how to crochet, you know, showing me the patterns and everything. Because everything she did was backwards from the way I do it. Good evening, Jeremy. How's it going? I've got 43 people, no, yeah, 43 people online right now. You know what? Another week is gone. Tomorrow's Friday, y'all. Thursday slipped up on me. I was thinking it was still Wednesday. And it's Thursday. I got to get my garbage out tonight. Get it out on the street. So they'll pick my garbage up tomorrow. I don't have a whole lot. I never do, really. Blondie says, okay, in Europe we are all depressed. B-I-J now. I don't understand the B-I-J. I don't know what that means. Why are y'all depressed in Europe? I mean, we're a little sad about all the prices and stuff. I mean, our prices are going up like crazy. Yeah, exactly right. The nation's going to hell. As my neighbor used to say, this town's going to hell in a handbasket. She was a German lady that I knew. She was a neighbor of mine until she moved. But I think about every time I saw her, she'd get in a conversation with me and she'd say, you know, this place is going to hell in a handbasket. Yeah, once there was a great leader. Everybody nowadays, every company, everybody out there that's working jobs to make money, or not the regular workman, it's not so bad, but the bosses, the people that own the companies, they're slave drivers, they're money-hungry people. All they care about is making the dollar every day, making more money, making more money. They don't care what you have to do for them to make that money. In Germany, well, it's bad here too, Blondie. Our prices are going up so high people can't afford to even buy food. I mean, you go to the grocery store to buy groceries and you spend $100 and you have nothing to eat. If you buy dish soap, if you buy laundry detergent, stuff like that, by the time you get toilet tissue and Kleenex and just the side things that you need for everyday life, there's no money for the food. Hi, Donna. I'm doing great. It's hot, but I'm staying cool. It's still 102 degrees right now. It dropped from 104 earlier. It was still 104 when I went live at 6:30. And what was that? A little over half hour ago. Yeah, I kept saying I was going to put Christmas lights or something and just string them up all throughout the garden and then turn them on when I need to be out there. But I haven't done it. I said if I put them all up in the garden, I'll not have any to put anywhere else. But I need lights back there. Okay, but it's an ego one up on one society. Yeah, containers are getting smaller and the prices are going up. Yeah, greed. That's what we deal with now. It's all greed. I just lost my chat, y'all. Let me get my chat back up here. Yeah, they might. I haven't looked for it. Like I said, I just looked them up and then clicked on it to read all the information that they had posted on the internet, about them. Oh, Gladys, 76 where you're at in Cincinnati. Raining hard. Oh, that would sound so good if it was happening here. I'd love for it to be 76 degrees and raining hard. It's 100. It's still 102. This time of evening, still 102, and so dry. It's real, unreal. No one speaks with each other anymore. That's true. Connecticut, I meant. I don't know why I said Cincinnati. I meant Connecticut is where she's at. But she needs to send some of that rain and cooler temperatures to us. My poor garden is not going to survive much longer if we don't get a break in this heat. Whew. But I want to go out there one night and hit the SOS button. I want to see what it does when you hit SOS. I'll try all of the settings. The mode 1, 2, and 3. And then the SOS, the red one. Stu Leonard's is in Connecticut. It's a very interesting, very different type of supermarket. Oh, give me some, Gladys. I need some watermelon, some good old cold watermelon. I bought that one small one and made the watermelon rind preserves, and I haven't had any more watermelon since. Sick, yeah. Today, nobody wants to get involved in anybody else's business, so they stay to themselves. People don't talk. That's what I figured the SOS was. It probably just blinked on and off. But I don't know what the mode 1, 2, and 3 is for. I haven't tried all the modes since I got the lights burning. I know the light does come on if I walk under it, because it scared me the other night. I forgot the light was up there, and I walked down the sidewalk to the end of the house, and all of a sudden the light was everywhere. I said, well, it's working. I've drank so much iced tea today, my belly's floating in tea. But that honey hibiscus tea is so good. Oh my gosh. That's about the best tea I've drank. Yeah, where I put the shade cloth up with those tie wraps, they're breaking. They're taking turns. I went out there yesterday, and the big shade cloth in the center of the back was down. One of the corners come loose where the tie wrap broke. So I got up there and I put a little piece of cord like this. This is Poly Blends Mildew and Rot Resistant Camping and Securing Rope. So it should hold up under the sun, the heat. But I tell you what, as strong as those tie wraps are, they can't last under the heat of the sun. Not as hot as it's been. That's what I'm thinking. One of them should be at least where it burns all night. Comes on at dark and goes off when it's light. The only tea Caught You Looking can drink is Earl Grey. And I've never heard of Earl Grey tea. Of course, I've never looked in the store for that brand, but probably mode 3. Yeah, I don't know. You get a remote for each one of the lights. But I think any of the remotes will work any of the lights, which is crazy. You can't drink tea unless it's Earl Grey. Well, this is Hawaiian tea. It came from Hawaii. April Flowers sent it to me. She sent me bags of coffee from Hawaii, boxes and boxes of tea. I have an idea you don't understand in which situation. No, I don't understand what the situation is where you live, Blondie. Caught You Looking, can't drink. Yeah, she can't drink what I'm drinking. Oh, the only tea you can't drink is Earl Grey. And I've never heard of Earl Grey tea. Most people are a puppet. Well, I've never tried Earl Grey because I've never seen any, so I don't know if I could drink it or not. Yep, people are puppets. Gross tasting? Huh. Can you buy the Earl Grey anywhere? Or is it just in certain places? Big storm going on in New York City. Oh, and you know what? I wanted to get hold of Kai. Um Kai Ellis from Hawaii. Remember he used to come in our live chat? And he would show, he'd come in the live and show videos of where he was driving to and stuff in Hawaii. And he moved into another house, but I don't know what part of the island he moved to. But I was watching a video where the hurricane hit Hawaii. And oh my God, people, so many people there lost their homes. Their homes are they're halfway up with dirt, not water. The rivers and everything overflowed. It put so much water. Sorry about that. They put so much water inland so fast that it flooded everything. And it washed dirt, the sludge and the trees and everything. And the houses are halfway under the dirt. Not water, it's dirt. The cars are, you can see the tops of the cars. The cars are buried in the dirt. They've lost so many roads and bridges. Oh, it was something else to watch the video today, I'll tell you. And I was wondering how Kai Ellis is. You know, I'm really worried about him and his family. Because I don't know what part of Hawaii he's in. I don't know if the hurricane hit where he's at. Let's just hope for his sake it didn't. I'd hate to know that it covered his house in mud and sludge. And, you know, I'm worried about their well-being as well. I've not seen a Winn-Dixie here caught you looking. Now, in North Carolina, we have Winn-Dixie. Gun Club, Bad America, fucking good band. Yeah, it was terrible. It showed these gigantic 50-foot long trees uprooted and just rocketing down the water. It just went by so fast. It was uprooting these big trees. And it even moved lava rock, great big lava rock, piled it on the highway to where the cars can't even go through. If there was any road left, most of the time where that happened, most of the highway was destroyed, so you couldn't have passed anyway. Yeah, he hasn't been in one of our lives lately, so I've been wondering about him, and I haven't gotten any posts from him where he's posted a video or anything. And I've got all notifications marked, so if he does post a video, you know, I get notified of it, but I haven't been notified of any. Oh, wow, that's got to be tough, Tamara. You work in the physical rehab, working with people with brain injury, paralysis, and burns. Yeah, I didn't have a mask on this morning. I didn't take time, just like I didn't take time to video it. I had so much to do and I got it done so fast in that heat. I just did not have time to carry the camera around with me. Winn-Dixie's own brand of soda check is the worst soda I've ever had in my life. I'd rather swallow Robitussin. That's how awful it is. I've never bought any sodas at Winn-Dixie, so I don't know. The soda check? I never buy that brand, so I don't know how it is. For everyone who looks further, Martin Varageland on YouTube. I've never heard of who that is. What kind of a channel do they have, Blondie? Right, we don't use foul language in our chat, Blondie. So please refrain from using the 4-letter words, please. Be considerate of others. I was hoping Jana would have time to pop in. I haven't seen her yet. Speak of the devil and it shall appear, Jana. I just said I haven't seen you, and you all of a sudden popped into chat. How you doing, Jana? I'm here. I see you are. I just told everybody that I was hoping you'd come in, but I haven't seen you yet. And then all of a sudden you popped into chat. I know, that was crazy. It's like you heard me. If I did meet you one day, Tamara, in Iowa, I would say to you, how does my teeth look, if I showed it to you? Oh, I ate too much dinner, y'all, because I didn't have to spend all that time cooking. Y'all will see tomorrow. Well, to people to awake from the dream and to tell the truth. Whatever. I can't believe that happened. Yeah, it did, though. I had just said I was hoping to see Janet in chat, but I haven't seen you tonight. And I no sooner said it and your name popped up. Yeah, we probably wouldn't judge your teeth, Joshua. It would just be nice to meet you. There you go, Gladys. No bad words or you'll be gone with the wind. I heard you at that very second. I was telling everybody that I came across the video today, and it was just a short one because it just recently happened, with the hurricane Lila or whatever that hurricane was that hit Hawaii. Oh my God, it was devastating. It took out so many homes and bridges and highways. It just flooded everything and covered homes with dirt and sludge and lava rock. Lava rock piled all over the highways, where that water was going so fast with such force, it literally moved the lava rock, y'all. And it ended up on the highway, piled on the highway to where cars couldn't even get through. And most of the time, on the side of that is where you didn't even see any highway left. So I was really concerned about Kai Ellis, who used to come into our chats all the time. And I haven't seen him lately. You know, he come in one day here a couple of lives ago. But I haven't seen very much of him. So evidently he's not been posting videos because I've got all notifications selected on his channel and I have not been getting notified that he's posted anything. But I'm hoping him and his family's okay. I hope where he lives didn't get flooded like that. All I know is he moved to the other side of the island where he was, and I don't really know where he was at the time, so I don't really know where he moved to. But I know he's really close to the water. Yeah, I would not want to hear anything bad happen to Kai or his family. That would be terrible. I tried to bring his channel up, but I couldn't remember exactly how it was worded. I put in Kai Ellis and Halo Boy, Halua Boy, or however it was pronounced, and I never could get his channel to come up. Everybody else's came up, but not his. There was a Kai Ellis, a black guy, that came up, and I knew that wasn't him. Well, it's only going to be down to like 99 here in 4 or 5 days. It's going to stay 103, anywhere from 103 to 105 for the next week. And then it's supposed to drop to like 99 for a day or two, 98 for a day or two, and then it'll probably be right back up to triple digits. And that's with no rain, y'all. It'll stay in triple digits till it burns everything up in my garden, and then it'll cool off. There's Pat Watson in the house. Hello, Pat. Has anybody else seen any of the flooding and going on in Hawaii where the hurricane hit? Other than me? Tampa Bay is under a heat advisory. We are too here. We've been under an extreme heat advisory every day, warning people to stay inside. Exactly. Mother Nature could be charged with a first-degree felony. My hair is long. It's not as long as it was because I cut 4 or 5 inches off of it. It's shorter now than it was, but it's still long. Now, what just happened to my chat? This new computer, I can just move my cursor across the screen wrong, and it'll flip the whole page off, or it'll cut it down to like it's 2 inches wide. Isn't that crazy? And my dishwater's clean because I put fresh, clean dishwater in my pan every time I start to do a live. So I've got soapy water available to rinse the dishcloth out or to wipe the counter, wash my hands off. So it's always clean water. And I know it usually has like a green tint to it, but that's because the dish soap that I use in it is green. Palmolive is green, and it has a tendency to put just a little faint hint of green in the water. And I guess because of that, they think it's dirty dishwater, but it's clean. Because usually I just fill it up with clean dishwater, put the soap in there, and I haven't even washed dishes in it yet. But I keep it there just to have something to rinse off things I'm using at the time, or, rinse the dishcloth out to wipe the counter or something like that. I always like to have a sink full of hot dishwater available if I need the water, And people are saying that I've got this dirty dishwater sitting there, and it's not. Yeah, I guess I just have to not have soapy water in my dish pan when I do a cooking video. And then I'd be forever running the water in the sink to wash things, or to rinse them off, or to rinse the cloth out. Exactly, Tamara. That's the reason I was so worried about Kai Ellis and his family. Yep, that's what's happening here. Everything is dying from this hot sun. That's the reason I was warning people. I said, if you can put shade cloth up over your garden, put shade cloth up. Your plants need it. Keep them out of that hot sun, because that hot sun will kill them. And I know my shade cloth is not helping the stuff in the Echo Garden, arbor, and raised beds, because the shade cloth is behind it. But the grapevine is still growing good, but the tomato plants are burning up because they're in the sun. They may survive and come back when the temperature cools off. I don't know. Yeah, they'll have an early fall in the Ozark Mountains, but the leaves are not going to be like they would have been if it was a normal fall. Yeah, usually you see where it's flooded, where there's water standing everywhere. And in Hawaii, it's not the water standing, it's the sludge and the mud and the sand. The houses are just filled with it. Not water. The water filled them full of sludge and sand and debris. Yeah, last year Myrtle Beach had a rainy August, which kept the temperatures cooler. And we had more of a break in the temperature here in Texas than we've got this summer. It's just been extremely hot for many, many days in a row, which is a little unusual. I mean, it gets hot in Texas, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I've been out here when it got 110, 111 degrees, but it didn't stay that way every day for 2 or 3 months. It was like that maybe a day or so, and then it cooled off a little bit. If you can say 98 is cooled off, but yeah. We desperately need rain. My garden desperately needs rain and a little bit cooler temperatures. Yep. But I don't think people are listening, Jana. We're having all the stuff that the Bible talks about. All the flooding, the fires. The destruction by the hurricanes. Oh my gosh. Oh, boo. I got my belly full of supper. Now I'm going to get sleepy. I always get sleepy after I eat. You think I'd eat Thanksgiving dinner? You think I at least ate turkey, but I didn't. It's finally dropped to 99 degrees because the sun is going down. And it's almost 8 o'clock. So when that sun is not just burning down on everything, the temperature cools off quite a bit. No, we cannot control the weather, that's for sure. It's because the parasympathetic system kicks in. You're talking above my head, Jana. Oh, me. Well, that's one thing that causes so much flooding here is when it goes for so long, dry, hot, the ground's dried out, it's getting hard, it's cracking, and then you all of a sudden have a rainy season where it just pours down rain nonstop. The ground can't soak it up as fast as it rains, and it causes a major flood. Because when the ground gets dried and hard and packed, cracked, it doesn't soak up the rain as fast as it comes down. And that water's got to go somewhere. Yep, didn't get that one either. Well, people don't have water limits in every subdivision, Jana. It's our subdivision right now, the only one that I know of that's got water restrictions like we do. The city's not under a water restriction right now. All these other developments, subdivisions are not under water restrictions. It's just my subdivision. And we've had this water restriction for going on 4 years. And when the guy from the water company come out, I told him, I said, you know, I've lost just a lot of plants and stuff in my yard because of no water. And I said, this is ridiculous. I said, these water restrictions have been going on for too long. He said, really? I didn't know that you were under a restricted area. I said, well, it is a HOA, but it's not a HOA thing. Because really the water company doesn't have anything to do with the subdivision as far as making rules or regulations, but they are the ones that supply our water. The city is on a different water company. A lot of these subdivisions around here are on a different water company than we are. It's our water company that's got the restrictions. And they said it was because people were moving in so fast they couldn't supply the water for everybody fast enough. There's plenty of water. They just cannot purify it and ship it out as fast as people use it. So therefore, they've started restricting us on usage. Everybody can only water 1 day a week, and that's with a handheld hose or a 5-gallon bucket to water your plants. You can't run a sprinkler system for your grass if you want to do that. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I can't even wash my car in the driveway. Used to, I'd wash my car right there under the carport. We can't do that now. They say you can take your car and wash it at the car wash any day you want to, but you can't wash it outdoors in your yard. You can't wash the sidewalk off. You can't wash your lawn furniture off. Nothing. No outside water usage whatsoever except on your watering day, and that's to water your plants or trees. So, I mean, and I told him that, and he said, well, I didn't know we were under water restrictions with this company. I said, oh yeah, we've been going on 4 years now. I said, it's printed on the back of your water bill, every water bill you get, that it's a mandatory water restriction. Anybody can be fined or their water can be turned off if they're caught abusing it. And my son said, well, Mom, what about inside your house? I said, oh, you're not restricted. You can use all the water you want inside. You just can't do outside watering. Janet, I think that means your tummy's working hard to digest supper. That other systems take a back seat to function, making you tired. Well, see, I don't like the water that these other companies put out. It's not good water at all. It's got too many chemicals in it. You boil a pot of water and you got white sand in the bottom of your pot. We don't have that with our water. We've got pretty decent water here. But I don't know how much longer they're going to keep doing this. Yeah, even construction workers are limited to the water. If they're building a house, they can use the water they need to build the house, which usually isn't a whole lot. Because usually they have concrete delivered by concrete trucks, and they don't need water to mix the concrete. It's already mixed coming to them on the truck. I know, that's what I told that guy. I said, I've never had a water bill that high before. And I said, I'm not using any more water now than I did before. I don't understand why it was $102. He said, well, evidently for some reason you use just enough to boost you up to the next rate or the next limit on where your water bill goes up. And he said you could probably use all you want now because you probably wouldn't use enough over that for it to go up anymore. I said, well, it's already went up too much. I don't want to have to pay a $102 water bill every month. Yeah, what would it be like if there were no restrictions? I don't either. I told him, I said, I'm not using any more water now than I was. I said, I do water twice a week. One day with the city water on my watering day, and one day with my compost tea. But those compost tea containers are filled up on my watering day, and I put fertilizer and different things in the water. And then by the time, in 2 or 3 days, all the chemicals are gone out of that water, and it's the best to water your garden with then. And it's got the plant food and all that other stuff in it to help my plants grow. And I said, I've done that from the day one I've had a garden. And I told him, I said, I water part of my garden most of the time, every time I wash clothes, because I've got a line run out to the garden from my washing machine. I said, I take dishwater from a dishpan and water plants outside the door here. I told him, I said, I do everything I can do to save money, save water. And I don't understand why my bill went up. That's what my son said. Well, Mommy said, just take your bucket in the house and fill it up, then take your bucket outside and water with it. It's, but the guy from the water company said, well, I don't think they want you to lose your plants and stuff. And he said, if I was you, I'd just go ahead and water when I needed to water, as long as you can pay your water bill. But hey, if it's $102 now, I don't want to run any more water than I've been running, because my water bill would even be higher. I'm doing everything I can do to keep my bills paid now. And all my bills are going up. The more I make, the more the bills go up. So it's like catch 22. And if I didn't do anything to make more money, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. But yeah, the more money I make, the higher the bills go anyway. So I'm just breaking even, basically. And not even doing that really the last couple of months, because my views were down. They're finally getting back up, but that was kind of funny when he said, well, I didn't even know we were under water restrictions. I said, here in this subdivision we are. I said, I don't think any of the other subdivisions are restricted, but we are on our water company. That is when you go Green Acres and put a bucket in your shower. Yeah, I guess I could put a couple of buckets in the floor of the shower every time I take a shower and catch water and go empty them outside. Even catch my shower water. Go water the garden with it. I don't know. I don't know what this place is coming to. I think it's going to get so expensive to live here that people are going to end up selling out and moving somewhere else. Because I told him, I broke my water bill down for him. I said, I have a $59 flat rate fee on my water bill. I'm charged $59 a month whether I use any water or not. And then there's tax put on that. And then there's service charges put on that. And there's some other kind of charge put on that. And I actually only used $22 worth of water. But yet my water bill was $102. I said most people don't even pay $59 for water every month. Yeah, even if I didn't turn on a spigot for a month, doesn't run a drop of water, I'd still have to pay the service charge, that's $59 and some odd cents. I'd still have to pay the tax on that, and then some kind of other fee that they put on that before they add the water usage on it. And some of my subscribers say that they don't pay that much for their whole water bill every month. They're not in Texas, that's for sure. Yeah, I tell them I put a stopper in the tub, and I catch my shower water, and I'm going to water my plants with my shower water. That's an idea. I mean, you could do that, I guess. Tamara Ameling says she has all the base charges as well. Yeah, you're going to pay $70, $80 just every month, regardless of whether you use any water or not. Usually it's put on my bill that I use $10, $12 of water of every month. And this last time it was $22. I have not used that much more water. I don't see how it could have went up. I told him I was doing the same thing I always do. He said, well, your raised beds take a lot of water. I said, well, I water most of those raised beds at least one day a week with washing machine water, because I said I've got a line from my washing machine run out to the garden. So we'll see what it is this time. He went back and read the meter. He said, well, your meter is at 205 right now. So check it and see what it is when you get your water bill. And it'll show you how much water you used. And I don't even water that big rock garden out there, the one where all the moonflowers were. That does never get watered. I refuse to water it, because every time I've watered it before, I always had it full of that wild morning glory that took over everything, strangled out even the sunflower stalks. So I quit. I refused to even water that. That's what the Amish do, gray water. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, shower water, dishwater water, any of that you can water your garden with. But I just have my washing machine hooked to a hose that goes out to my garden. My shower water, everything else goes into the septic system, except for the dish pan I put in the sink to catch, at least keep that much water, and I water with it each time I do dishes. Yeah, and the Amish don't pay water bills either, because they pump their own water. Can you get on the low income program? I doubt it. I don't know of any. I got 51 people watching. $29 thumbs up. Went up to 52. Then back down to 51. Someone comes in and someone leaves. You're stumped on this one with the water. I am too. I don't see how it could go up to $102 when I'm doing the same thing I've always done. No, I love licorice, but I've only known the black. I mean, in the stores they've got like a red licorice, but it's not striped. It's you either get the black one, which I like, or the red one, which doesn't taste like licorice. It's just red. Most people can't understand you liking licorice, but I do. I've always liked it. When I eat jelly beans, I'll pick out the black ones, and they're the first ones I eat. I don't care if I eat the rest of them, but I eat the black ones because I like the licorice in them. And the dollar stores or the Dollar Tree has like a real authentic licorice. It's in one of the little packages that you get like for $1.25 or $1.50. And it's really good. It tastes just like the one that's in the Easter egg, the jelly beans. But I've always loved licorice. The black one, not the red one, not the other colored ones. The black one is the only one that actually tastes like the real licorice. No, I first thought of that, Pat. I checked to see if they went up on the charges. The charges didn't go up. The rate didn't go up. My water usage went up. It almost doubled. And I said, well, so much for keeping my water usage down. They increased my bill anyway. Oh, me. I'm yawning like crazy, y'all. Yeah, that's one of the first things I thought of. They didn't increase the water rate, did they? So I looked at my bill and I compared it to last month's bill. All the charges were the same except water usage. My water usage was the only thing that went up. Oh, me. Y'all making me yawn. I relax and I get comfortable when I'm live chatting with everybody. And then I get sleepy. I can't remember a licorice that was pink, black, and white. It was layered. I don't remember that. Canada here again. Hi, Brenda. Welcome back. Well, you don't need to be a moderator to my channel to subscribe to Tamara. You can go to her channel and subscribe to her, Joshua. You can't do it through my channel. That's not what being a moderator does. Canada, I would love to go there. I've never been to Canada. Evidently, Tamara just has an account set up so she can have access to YouTube and everybody's lives, because you got to have a channel or an account for a channel, put it that way, to be in my live. If she didn't have a channel account, she wouldn't be here. Because I don't think you can be a subscriber to anybody's channel without having an account with YouTube. But you don't have to go through other people's channels to subscribe to someone. Nova Scotia, I don't know. I used to think there was a lot of places I'd like to visit one day, but sometimes I think I'm just as well off where I'm at rather than go traipsing around the world. There's so much stuff going on everywhere else. I think I'm better off staying home. I used to say if I did much traveling at all, I'd love to go to Italy because that's where a lot of my family was from. But that's so far away, I doubt I'll ever get there. Because for one, I don't want to be in an airplane that long. And I definitely don't want to get on a cruise ship going to Italy. I couldn't handle being on a ship that long either. And I would think that's the only two ways to get there. You got to fly or get in a boat and go. Oh, hey. I don't know that you could drive from the USA to Italy. It's in a block with coconut-like stuff. I remember the coconut with the different colors, but I didn't remember it having licorice in it. Maybe it did. Yeah, I remember that candy. It had coconut, and it was in a block, and each layer was a different color. But I didn't remember it having a layer of licorice. Janice said I was lucky to visit those places with my husband. Yeah, that was really nice. You got to see those with your husband. Janice said, oh, I remember white, pink, and black. I remember it. I just couldn't remember the black being on it. I guess maybe it did have black on it. It had licorice on it. A layer of licorice, a layer of white, and a layer of pink. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, what did you get to see in Italy? I'm going to have everybody in chat yawning. It was a cruise that went from the coast of Turkey to Italy and Greece. Brenda says, oh, I'm yawning again. I knew because I'm yawning like crazy. I can't quit yawning. I've sat down, I got relaxed, I got cooled off, I got my belly full of dinner, and then I've been sitting here yawning like crazy. Yeah, I bet that was a nice time going on that cruise with your husband, Jana. Nice memories. See, I can't stop yawning. Yeah, I always thought I'd like to go to the area that my grandparents were from. Because, like I said, they came to the United States in the 1800s on a cruise ship. Not on a cruise ship, but a ship that came from Italy to the USA. And they came through Ellis Island and became American citizens. And my grandfather was a little toddler at that time. And his sister was small. And my great-grandparents brought them over from Italy with them. So he's 100% Italian. Of course, my grandmother that he married was from New York. She was English and Irish. But they were lied to. They decided to come to the United States because everybody told them the streets were lined with gold and things were so much better here. And they sold everything they had and came on a ship to become American citizens. And then when they got here, they were sorry they came. They would have loved to have went back. But then they couldn't go back. They didn't have anything to go back to. And they spent all their money to get here, so they didn't have the money to go back. That brings me to the Titanic. Yeah, I don't think I want to be on a Titanic. I don't want to be on any big ship for very long, I'll guarantee you. And it ain't going to leave the dock and go very far out in the sea either. I want to be able to see land from the boat. I know my brother said that him and his wife would go on cruises every year, but they'd get on I think they got on the ship in Florida. I guess they had to drive from North Carolina to Florida to get on the ship. And then it stayed right along the coastline, and it stopped like in Cancun and different places for people to get off and take a little tour of the area and then go back on the ship and go somewhere else and do the same. So they never really got out in the ocean far. They could always see land. And he said he felt more comfortable with that. I said I'd go crazy if all of a sudden I was out in the middle of the ocean and everywhere you looked, all you saw was water and you saw no land whatsoever. I would totally freak. I would totally freak out. After going to India in 90 and 92, I had it with international travel. Oh, really, Donna? You must not have liked going to India. I've got a mosquito bite on my cheek and it's itching right there. Got bit this morning. What turned you against international travel when you went to India, Donna? Was India not what you actually thought it was, or? I did freak. Tamara Ameling said she doesn't because she was born a fish in a human body. What kind of places did you go in India? Janice said, I never once was at sea. Oh, seasick. I was never once seasick. I don't know if I'd get seasick or not, but it would freak me out to be out there and all you saw was water around you. You saw no land whatsoever. I got to refill my tea thermos here. Oh, the poverty. You visited his family. Oh wow, Tamara, you in your younger days you was a competitive swimmer and diver a long time ago. Mom and pop place, that's it. Yeah, I know, like Iran and different places like that, that it's a lot of poverty. Pakistan, Iran, Syria, all those places. Janice said her husband's father grew up in India. They were English citizens in India. Huh. I know I've seen videos where people in Iran and Pakistan, they're actual nomads, like here in the States where people are not actually living in a home. They're traveling around, living in their cars, living in their vans, or they're living in the street because they have no home. People in Iran and Pakistan are that way, and they dig out caves in the mountains, and they actually live in the mountains, in the caves. And it's interesting because I watched this one family, and they actually rigged up running water in a cave. And it was running water that came down the mountain. You know, they found a spring up above, high above them, and they tapped into that spring with a water line, and it brought water down to their cave. So they had running water to their kitchen sink. They had running water to a shower. They had running water to a sink in the bathroom. They put in bathrooms in the caves and then put a sewage line that goes into actual sewage that they dig out, like we do, you know, like the old-timey septic systems where they dig out a tank and the leach field comes out of that tank, not like the aerobic systems, which they're similar but not exactly. And they don't even have to have a permit to put a septic in. They just dig a hole, run a line to it, and start using it. That's it. I mean, it's covered up and everything, but they're not restricted. They just dig a hole out there in the mountains where they dug their cave and run a line out, dig a hole outside the cave big enough for their sewage tank, and then they cover it over, and their sewage runs in it. And I watch videos on, oh, what was I going to say? Like in different areas, like in Japan and, oh, what is the name of that place? Where we had one of the wars going on. What was the name of that country? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Vietnam. How they do the same thing with running water. They don't have to dig a well. They tap into a spring that's above them, and the water comes down, they run it into their house, they run it wherever they want, and then they never shut the spring off. It has to keep flowing down the mountain, but they can tap into it and get water for their usage as long as they don't stop the flow of water. I thought that was kind of neat. Donna said, I thought I'd get slim because I wasn't going to eat the food, but first taste and I devoured it. Yeah, their food tastes pretty good, I'm sure. They got some good cooks, good dishes they fix there. And I had a friend that was from the Philippines, and she was here with her husband. And they had like a gathering at their house for all the friends, and she cooked and she put out like hors d'oeuvres and all kind of stuff, all of the Philippine dishes that she cooked back where she was from. Oh my God, that stuff was so good. And there's Christian White. Hello. I don't know. I've got so much favorite foods. I know fried chicken is one that I love, but I don't love to cook it. Lasagna, spaghetti, any type of pasta dish. I don't mind cooking, put it that way, unless it's like it was today and it was 104 degrees. I don't want to even turn my oven on, or I don't want to turn a burner on the stove on. 25 to 35 feet. I don't know, what was that mentioned for? I missed something. I missed something in chat. That one got by me. Oh, diving. Her highest dive. That's pretty high. Wow. And I was also amazed how they tile the cave. I mean, they use concrete and tiles for everything because they have very little wood in those countries. It's so dry and desert-like, there's no trees growing, so they build everything with concrete, rock, blocks, cement, stuff like that, and tile. They tile their walls, they tile their floors, and then everything is watertight. So if they want to clean their house, they just move the rugs out and take the water hose and spray the house down. They have no furniture. They sleep on the floor. They eat on the floor. They have room-to-room rugs, wall-to-wall rugs, put it that way. I said, well, that's an easy way to clean house. There's no furniture in it. It's waterproof. Just hose it down and be done with it. Pools, not cliffs. Those were high diving boards. Like Olympic divers get on those high boards. I don't know how high they go, how many feet. They go pretty high, though. Yeah, when I first started watching this one family that lived in caves, I thought to myself, why does everybody there build with concrete, rocks, and blocks? And then I realized because there's no lumber. They don't have trees growing around them. So it would probably be very costly to have lumber shipped in for them to build anything out of. It was more or less a lot cheaper and more available for them to use concrete, blocks, and rock. I mean, they have so many rocks, almost like me here. They can find enough rocks to basically build a house with it. Just style, get the rocks the right size and stack them and concrete them together and build you a rock wall. And then they always put cement down on the floor and put tile on the floor. So they live in a waterproof house. They run solar lights inside. Most of them have wood-burning stoves built into the cave to heat and cook with part of the time. A lot of them do have like camp burners that they cook on. Or they have like kerosene heaters inside. I remember years ago that when my dad was first building the house we lived in North Carolina, the first heater we had in there was wood-burning stoves. We had wood burners in my room and the living room, because my room had a wall that was adjoined to the living room, and the chimney was up in the wall. So they run the pipe to that chimney from the living room heater and from my bedroom heater into that same chimney. So my dad would get up every morning. It would wake me up. He'd come in my bedroom and start putting a fire in my little heater at the same time. And that's how they warmed the house up for everybody to get up in the morning. And then later it was a kerosene heater. And then they come out with the gas heater. But in Pakistan and Iran, it's more available to them to have kerosene. They use kerosene for everything. Yeah. Tamara said, I never did or will dive off a cliff. I've taken care of too many spinal injury patients that take that chance. So you had to go into the water feet down, right? My mom tried to teach me to dive, but I don't know what it was. I'd do everything right. I'd get almost to the water with my head down, and the minute I touched the water, my head went back. Every time. I didn't want my head to go underwater. I guess it was my little bit of claustrophobia that I have, that I couldn't handle having my head under the water, and I was completely covered with water. It had something to do with claustrophobia, I think. But I'd throw my head back every time just as I got to the water to get my head up out of the water. So my mom just gave up. She said, well, I can't teach you to dive if you're going to keep jerking your head back. I said, well, I can't help it. I don't want to. I don't intend to do that. It just happens. And I used to go swimming in Black River and the Cape Fear back home with everybody. But I never liked it because, the water was dark. You couldn't see what was in the water. You couldn't see what was on the bottom of the water. And I didn't like that. I want to see what's in my water. That's why I always liked going to White Lake, Crystal Beach, because it was like being in your bathtub. You could look down in the water and you could see the sand in the bottom of the water. It was crystal clear. So you knew there was no creature swimming around you. You could see one coming for a pretty good distance if there was, but you never saw any fish, not up close where people were swimming. And there probably was fish out there in the lake, I'm sure, but they were never up at the bank area that I've ever seen. Yeah, my mom tried to teach me, but I couldn't do it. No matter how hard I tried, that head flipped back every time just as I hit the water. I do not advise swimming in lakes during the summer. Well, White Lake I loved swimming in because, like I said, it was crystal clear. The water in White Lake was like the water in your bathtub. You could see everywhere under the water. That's why they called it Crystal Beach, because the water was just like bathtub water, just like water you ran in your kitchen sink. You could see through it. The river water's not that way. I mean, it's dark. You can't see down in the bottom. You don't know what you're stepping on. You don't know what's swimming up to you. And that's one thing I didn't like about swimming in the ocean. You know, I'd walk out there to about knee deep, and sometimes I'd get further than that, and all of a sudden I'd feel something brush my leg. It would terrify me, because the first thing that come to my mind is a shark swimming by. He's going to get my leg, you know. But there was jellyfish too, and jellyfish are not nice. They're dangerous. They're poisonous, and you don't ever want to get stung by jellyfish. And you see jellyfish out in the ocean all the time. And you never knew, you couldn't see what was swimming and brushing your leg down there, you know? That's what was so scary about it. Brain-eating amebus? Amebus? I don't know what that is. What does catastrophic mean? That means the most dangerous tropical storm you've ever seen that did the most damage, like the hurricane hitting Hawaii. It did catastrophic damage to the island. It tore up everything. It destroyed homes. That's what catastrophic. Oh, you're saying claustrophobia. I read that wrong. I'm sorry. Claustrophobia is when you're afraid of small, closed-in tight places. And I do well living in this house, I think, because it's full of windows. I've got daylight coming in everywhere. And it is as big as it is. It's 12 by 65 foot long, so it's not a little tiny camper. But that might be one reason I'd rather be outside than to be inside, too. Yeah, anybody with claustrophobia don't like small enclosed places, Joshua. Like when I had to go get a scan done of my spine before I had my spine surgery, they put me in that tube. And when I started going in, I freaked out. I started waving my hands and everything, and he pulled me out real fast. He said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "I can't go in there. I got claustrophobia. It scares me. I'm just freaking out." He said, you got to go in to get the scan done, and you got to be still. So he said, you'll have to reschedule your appointment and go to your doctor and get a tranquilizer or something so you'll be calm to go in. I said, no, just let me wait a minute. Let me see if I can do a meditation and then go in. I said, maybe that'll work. So he gave me a few minutes, and then I calmed down. I closed my eyes, and I thought of everywhere else, like fields of flowers, the ocean, everything else. And then finally I said, okay, I'm ready. And I never opened my eyes. I was out in this field of flowers when they pushed me back in. And I could hear it clicking, but I wasn't even in there. I was out in a field of flowers, a wide open field. And when he brought me out, he laughed at me. I said, what's funny? He said, I got to admit, he said, for someone with claustrophobia, the way you freaked out when you first went in there, he said, you were so still, I got a better picture, a scan of you than anybody that I've ever done a scan of, because you didn't move a muscle. I said, that's because I was not in there. I was out in a field of flowers. He just laughed at me. But that meditation is what got me through that scan. There's no way I could have went back through there, because I totally freaked out. Yeah, exactly right. When you're blind, so you don't have the same um, effect of space the way I would. You don't know that you're enclosed like that. In fact, if I was to go blind right now, that might freak me out because it might feel like I'm enclosed in darkness and I can't get out, and that would scare me to death. Yeah, you don't have the feeling of space like I do, or anybody else that can see. You can't see what kind of small place you're in or how big the place is. Yeah, I glanced at that word and I just naturally thought catastrophic, but I saw it's claustrophobia. Some people that have claustrophobia cannot even go in an elevator, Joshua. As small as elevators are, they can't go in there. Because when that door closes, they're encased in that small elevator and they freak out. Rode in the elevator up to the third floor when we lived in New York because the apartment building we moved into, we lived on the third floor and they had elevators. So I'd run in that elevator, punch number 3, and thank God I was only in there for a few minutes because I ran out the door when the door opened. I knew I wasn't going to be in there long. That's the only reason I could go up the elevator. It tickled me though. One day I got in the elevator to go up, and I must have hit 2 instead of 3, thinking I hit 3, because that elevator stopped on the second floor, and I thought I was on the third floor, which was our floor. I went running out the door of the elevator down the hall to the end apartment, thinking it was our apartment because ours was the end, but it was on the third floor, not the second. The door was not locked, so I opened that door and I ran in, and it was like a hallway, and the first thing you see is the kitchen, and the living room is back here because it's the same layout as our apartment was. And I saw this woman in the kitchen cooking, and the smell of the food was like, oh my God, what is Mom cooking, you know? And I realized it wasn't Mom, and that wasn't Mom's cooking. It was a Jewish couple that lived there. And they looked at me like, oh my God, we got somebody here that doesn't belong. And I don't know what I said, but I tried to apologize. Sorry, wrong floor, wrong apartment. And I turned around and ran back out and got back in the elevator and went up. Oh, that was the only time I ever did that. I always made sure I pushed the right button after that. I made double sure that I was getting off on the right floor. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're suffocating. Like, you know, you got to get out. You got to get free. I don't like heights. I mean, if we'd have lived any higher than the third floor, I probably would have freaked out over that because I don't like heights. To this day, I don't like heights. I don't like anything taller than what I get on with the ladder. And most of the time, I don't like getting as high as I get on the ladder. Yeah, we did that a few times, but it takes a lot of steps and climbing to go up 3 flights of stairs, Joshua. It's a lot easier just to go up the elevator. I remember there was once or twice me and my brothers used the stairs. Maybe we'd run to the elevator and it had just went up and we didn't want to wait on it, so we backed out and ran up the stairs. Got there almost about the time the elevator did, or right after. But if we lived on a high rise, there's no way I'd be wanting to look out the windows. I'm the one that went to the roof of the tower at Six Flags over Texas, and I wouldn't walk to the edge. I got out of the elevator and I backed up and leaned against the building. I said, I can see all I want to see from here. And everybody else went to the edge of the railing and was looking over and looking down. I said, no, thank you. I can see whatever I need to see right from where I was. And that was right outside the elevator door. Because I'm scared of heights. I don't like heights. And I think that's the reason I used to get sick every time I got in an airplane. I don't get sick now. Or the last few times I flew anywhere when I was older, I don't get sick. But I did as a child growing up. I did when I was up on at least 13. I got sick on the airplane. And I was throwing up on the airplane. And then I threw up for 3 days after I got to my aunt and uncle's house in New York. But never got sick after that. Of course, I didn't fly anymore till I was grown. I was in my 20s, I think, the next time I flew anywhere. And that was from Texas to North Carolina to go back home to visit my family. But it didn't make me sick. So I guess I grew out of that part. But I'm deathly afraid of heights. And I would not get on some of the rides at Six Flags because of that. And I told my son, you're not getting me on that. It's too high. And one of them he taught me on to get on, that I rode on one of the roller coasters. But my eyes stayed closed the minute that car started moving. And I did not open my eyes until the ride stopped. And we were back on the platform where they unloaded our car. He says, Mom, you can't experience it with your eyes closed. I said, oh, I can experience enough. You would not keep me in this seat if I had my eyes open going through this roller coaster, this ride. I said, believe you me, you do not want me to open my eyes. He just laughed at me. And we went in the one where it takes you straight up, and then the car drops with like a parachute over the top of it, and you just kind of glide down. I kept my eyes closed on that too. And my son was in the same car with me. He said, Mom, you can't experience it with your eyes closed. I said, I'm experiencing all I want to experience with my eyes closed. Thank you. I said, I told you I can't handle the heights. I'll freak out if I open my eyes. Well, guys, we've been on here, oh my goodness, for 2 hours. I didn't realize it. Yeah, we've hit 2 hours. So I'm going to let you go. I got to get my garbage bin out to the street before I forget about it. And there's a few things I got to do before bedtime, which is coming up pretty soon. Yeah, there's things I only want to experience one, and some of them I never want to experience. Oh, yes. Why couldn't you ride rides with your eyes closed? You're not driving. You're not guiding that car, that seat you're in anywhere. You can keep your eyes closed until it stops to let you off. And that's what I did. There's no way I could open my eyes on that ride. I would have totally freaked out. I told him I experienced the motion of going up and down with my eyes closed. I didn't need to see it. I did not need to see it, and you didn't want me to see it. I would have been screaming and going crazy and totally freaking out if I'd have opened my eyes. Well, y'all, I appreciate you coming into the live tonight, spending time with me. I've enjoyed it. But like I said, I got to get my garbage bin out to the street. My trash pickup is tomorrow. And sometimes they come early, sometimes they don't. And I always get my garbage bin out on Thursday night. So y'all have a blessed day tomorrow. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.